Hey there, sentence devotees. I am so excited to launch the course with this lesson on ordering your sentences. This is the first of 4 foundational lessons I'm going to teach you about the sentence. And even if you end up forgetting everything else in the entire course, these 4 lessons will get you leaps and bounds beyond so many beginning writers out there. They're simple techniques to understand, but they're really going to make your sentences so much stronger so that they can pack a punch to your reader. So let's buckle down to ordering your sentences. I'm going to give you a very simple rule. It's called the 2-3-1 rule. The 2-3-1 rule helps you organize how to lay out information in a sentence. The second most important piece of information in the sentence comes first. The least important information in the sentence, that's number 3, that comes in the middle. And the most important piece of information always comes at the end of the sentence. Look, I didn't make this up. This is just how the human brain works. We tend to forget something sandwiched in the middle, and whatever is most recent, like what comes at the end of a sentence, that's what we tend to remember. So you can take advantage of this way that our mind works by organizing your sentences so that the most important information always comes at the end. All right, but enough abstract ideas. Let's buckle down and talk about a specific sentence. Before you're like, why is this guy talking about math? I thought we were learning about language. Let's take a sentence like, the stolen jewel in his pocket would be a death sentence if he were caught. Now, most people, when they look at that sentence, they're like, it's a fine sentence. It's grammatical. I can understand what it's saying. But folks, I'm gonna level with you. It's a bad sentence. And by bad, I mean it could be much better. It could have a much bigger impact on the reader. So if we're going to apply the 2-3-1 rule to the sentence, we have to ask ourselves, what's the most important part of this sentence? Take the if he were caught part. Well, I don't think that's the most important part. It might be the second most important part because it's leading up to something. Now take the idea of the stolen jewel in his pocket. It's just information. There's nothing specifically tension-filled about it. But the death sentence, oh, come on. Anybody who is reading this sentence is thinking, oh, this character might die. So death sentence is the most important part of the sentence, which means we want that at the end. So how are we going to rewrite this sentence? Well, let's start with the if he were caught, the stolen jewel in his pocket would be his death sentence. Do you hear how that version makes death sentence just arrive with a boom at the end? It's going to be so much more memorable for the reader if you write a sentence like that. Let's look at another example. She finished the tequila bottle she'd opened this morning, or maybe yesterday. Which is more surprising to you? That she finished off a bottle of tequila that she opened yesterday, or this morning? I mean, this morning, right? That's a lot of margaritas and limes. That means or maybe this morning needs to be the very end of the sentence to arrive like a climax, like a surprise. So we'd rewrite this sentence by putting the second most important information in the beginning. She finished the tequila bottle, put the least important information in the middle, she'd opened yesterday, and the most surprising information at the end. Or maybe this morning. All right, third and final example. You can see more clearly after you get rid of love, which blurs your vision. Now this one's a little bit trickier than the other two because it's not exactly clear what is the most surprising information. Is it the fact that you can see more clearly? Or is it the fact that love blurs your vision? Oh, that's pretty surprising. Well, probably the least important information is after you get rid of love. That's more like setting you up for the idea. So Margaret Atwood, author of The Handmaid's Tale, originally wrote this sentence. So let's see how she composed it. The setup, which was second most important, was love blurs your vision. Middle part of the sentence was, but after it recedes, third part of the sentence, you can see more clearly than ever. So the last part of the sentence really arrives like a revelation. That's really her point. After love is gone, you can see more clearly. But the way that she originally composed that sentence is so much stronger than that messed up version I gave you originally. Now you might be saying to yourself at this point, John, you are radically simplifying things. I mean, I don't want to fit all of my sentence writing into this formulaic 2-3-1 rule. I hear you. This is merely a guideline that you can use to help you structure some sentences, mainly 3-part sentences. And there's plenty of times you need to break the 2-3-1 rule. Let me give you an example. Say a husband has cheated on his wife and they are having an argument about it. And the husband says, I don't think I'm to blame, but I cheated on you, so I guess you can be self-righteous about it. Ooh, okay. But do you see how he used the 2-3-1 rule to actually hide the most important information in the center of the sentence? The most important part of the sentence is, I cheated on you. right? I mean, this is an admission of guilt. But what does he do? He hides it alongside blaming the wife in the beginning and in the end. I don't think I'm to blame, but I cheated on you. So I guess you can be all self-righteous about it. It is such a sneaky thing to do. So if there are opportunities when you want to hide important information, you just sneak it into the middle of that sentence sandwich and it will be de-emphasized. Lastly, what if your sentence only has 2 parts? Will the 2-3-1 rule still work? I actually think the principles will still hold. We can call it, say, a 2-1 rule in that case. Let's look at an example from C.S. Lewis. There was a boy called Eustace Clarence Scrubb, and he almost deserved it. See that? He has a setup in the beginning of the sentence. There was a boy, and his name was this. And then he delivers the punchline at the end. And he almost deserved such a terrible name. Or let's look at an example from Hunter S. Thompson. I hate to advocate drugs, alcohol, insanity, or violence to anyone, but they've always worked for me. So in both of those examples, you see how the most important part of the sentence is arriving at the end. All right, so by now you probably have these ideas in your brain, these 2-3-1 principles. So I want you to test yourself using the quiz and the exercises after this video. Try it out, see if you can correct some sentences, and see if you really, truly understand the 2-3-1 principle. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about how to focus your sentences. I will see you there.